allow me to also get the recording here of this?
Absolutely. We can definitely send you a recording of it. We have it recorded as well on our end.
All right, sounds good. All right, so I believe that when we actually spoke with the owner of the brokerage here, guys, um, our whole intention was to present the opportunity, of course, of having some sort of added value towards real estate investing. Um, what ended up actually reaching out, Mr. Brooks here, was when we currently started working with real estate investors, we saw a huge flux of real estate agents actually becoming real estate investors and vice versa. We actually are a digital marketing agency that is focused on helping real estate investors, wholesalers, and hybrid agents get motivated sellers. So in the past year alone itself, we have helped made our clients about 4.2 million on assignment fees and transactions. These are not just the value of the homes, but the actual transactions overall with all our clients. And we have over 50 plus real estate investors and hybrid agents in our arms, because we're a family called the Hessel Media family. And I just wanted to present to you guys the opportunity of for you guys to understand what this is all about. Can I please here share my screen? I need to have
Absolutely.
I need to have the shareable thing right here.
All right.
Where
I
are
just
you
made you
guys?
host.
Where are you guys all located?
Majority of
Houston.
Houston, yes.
Houston. All right. So Houston is a huge area actually, for real estate investing opportunities and working with brokers. Brokers working with real estate investors that are active, and also real estate investors that are passive. So we've been working with hybrid real estate agents already for some quiet amount of time. Okay. So what is a hybrid real estate agent? A hybrid real estate agent is that person that comes in with the mindset of an entrepreneur real estate investor, is licensed, works for a brokerage, has done listings or does a few listings here and there, but wants to get fully into the real estate investing side. Or also this agent has been working for a brokerage and is just looking to get motivated sellers and monetize motivated sellers from the real estate investing side. All right. So that's what a hybrid real estate agent is. And they all work in correlation with other real estate investors and that are active or passive. All right. So what's my goal here for today? My goal is to understand why agents are killing it in the motivated seller space. And of course, we want to talk about the pros, the cons of real estate agents working with real estate investors, and how to find the right real estate investor to work with for you to, start this type of journey and looking into motivated sellers in a more closer look and going a deeper dive, because it's going to open up a lot of opportunities. As you guys know, whenever you guys are doing your buyer and seller marketing, getting buyers or sellers, regular buyers or sellers, some of these people are irregular people that maybe they cannot just list their property right now because they are maybe going through situations, or they are needing a lot of repairs in their house and they can't just list it at all. And then they have very unrealistic expectations about what the whole transaction is working with a real estate agent, right? And maybe you will find some of those, or a lot from sellers you'll find buyers, from buyers you'll find sellers. So in here we want to also cover in a very brief how to get into the real estate investing side. And I'm going to bring in here he's going to be a guest of mine. He's actually a broker, all right, and he also coaches also real estate agents on monetizing motivated seller deals. All right, motivated seller leads. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be making him join here. All right, for him to giving you guys 10 15 minutes showing you deals that have been done as a real estate agent, being a licensed agent but working with investor, or you being the investor yourself. All right, and we're also going to find out how to attract motivated sellers. We're going to actually build out here that foundation on how to ultimately attract those motivated sellers, how to attract them, because going after them is a whole different game. All right. So those are my goals for today.
Perfect.
Does anyone here actually work right now with investors at this moment?
Yes, I'm starting to, but he's very interested in short sales for some
Got it.
reason.
Short sales. So that's his niche. That's his industry, short
Yes.
sales. Okay. All right. Not a problem. Sounds good. Yeah. So we're going to learn that there's going to be different type of real estate investors, and which ones are probably the ones that will bring you the biggest pool of clients, biggest pool of sellers and transactions over like a period of time, and how you can actually potentially multiply that with working with real estate investor or as a real estate investor. So why can't agents crush it in the real estate investing space? This is a topic that I actually found out by working with a lot of real estate investors. But before this, I was actually working with a lot of real estate agents. And I didn't really understand what was the right correlation or just the synergy that could happen there until I really dove deep into it. For example, I'm pretty sure you guys work together with your mortgage brokers, officers. You guys maybe share some marketing, maybe you guys share clients and send each other clients all the time, right? But with real estate investors, and you working as a real estate investor too, you can also crush it in your both the regular getting a listing game and getting real estate investing properties for yourself, or acquiring properties through creative ways. All right. We can definitely talk about that. All right. Now, why can agents crush it? Because it's the ultimate correlation. Usually people are finding themselves hating that there is people out there lowballing motivated sellers. Lowballing homeowners, because these are motivated people to sell. And agents, they usually are kind of like competing, or they're trying to like go against that, and of course they don't think it's right and things like that. And whenever we run Facebook ads for real estate investors, we see a lot of agents saying, no, don't work with an investor listed in the market and things like that. But the truth is that we don't know what type of people that are out there that are really struggling, what type of service should be given to them. And that's why we should, as agents, all right, you guys as agents have a slight edge on actually working with someone that is in that type of situation, such as someone that is about to go into foreclosure, someone that is about to dive into a divorce, or is getting into a divorce, or it's something's going on, someone that has a probate situation, okay, someone that has some of these complex scenarios that you guys are not used to, but that usually real estate investors are very used to solve problems, not only as a cash offer, because cash offers can solve many things, but there's many ways for real estate investors to actually get that ball rolling the same way investing side, and not just relying on a low ball. Okay. So what is value over transaction? So what we're going to cover here is that, for example, agents, like I mentioned, have a very slight edge on the market, in this market. All right. So you guys can actually provide more value than a regular wholesaler. For example, a wholesaler, what it does is going to only ask for a lowball cash offer, whenever they're calling these homeowners that are looking to sell their property. And most of the time, they're going to be told, no, I don't want that lowball offer, or I don't accept. Of course, they're going to get to those yeses. But those people that say, I want to sell, but I don't want your lowball cash offer, is a great opportunity for you guys, because they are already saying a yes, but they just haven't turned the yes into a monetization yet, because they haven't provided the value. But as a real estate agent, that's where you guys can also come in, by working with real estate investors, or you being a real estate investor yourself, where you guys provide that value over a transaction, right? Because you guys are just not looking for a transaction, which is just buying and selling their house, or helping them buy or just sell the house. But now we are providing a solution and acting as a consultant with these homeowners that are going through these situations, and giving them more options. Okay. So for example, if a homeowner needs to sell and you have different options to help them, why not provide them the best option for them? Okay. And actually, the guest that I'm going to have is going to guys some type of deals that have been done, all right, over a period of time. It's already deals that have existed, in for a long period of time. And these type of deals, they solve issues that you could not have imagined that you could have acquired a property as a real estate investor and done the transaction. All right, we're gonna cover those deals. We're gonna show some examples. Now, really, what are these other options? Actually, top as when working as a real estate investor. For example, I'm a real estate investor myself. I have purchased properties to flip. I have purchased properties to buy, fix, and hold. All right, and I have also purchased properties through creative financing. So I ultimately, for example, I did not need a real estate agent on the first buying transaction, but I will need a real estate agent when I'm selling. All right, when I'm actually selling. So whenever I acquired these properties, some of its properties, I acquired them through seller finance, for example. Okay. And you can provide that type of solution to some of your potential clients, because real estate investors can actually do that. If you learn that skill, that's also something that you can absolutely do as well. Of course, you'll have to disclose this type of transaction with your brokerage. All right. And make sure that you disclose that you're a real estate agent with every single client that you actually work with. Okay. So what are these options? So creative ways to help them sell their house without listing it. Okay. It doesn't, and not every house is going to be a list type of property. And like the people that can't do those repairs or do those minor cosmetic things, and they have the money, they will list it for sure. There's people that don't, people that are financially struggling, financially going even more during the pandemic, right? So these are creative ways that actually real estate investors use to acquire properties apart from wholesaling or cash offers, to do a type of transaction on a 60%, 70% of what the value of the market is, right? Which is usually a cash. Okay. Has any of you guys actually been heard of creative ways to help sell a property or have creative financing? As any of you, if you guys have, just drop a one. I'd like to know about that. Drop a one in the chat. Awesome. So we got Michael and we got Erica. I believe Michael is not Michael, it's another person, right?
Yes, I think it's Jess.
Right. Can you hear me?
There you go. Yeah. Okay. Got it. So cash offers and creative ways to help your motivated sellers are going to ultimately be two different type of strategies and options. And during the creative wave, there's many different umbrella. It's an umbrella with many different type of things. Now, you being a real estate agent, you can list it in case the cash offer does not work, or the creative way does not work. Okay, we're gonna cover that. So one of the things that I believe Mr. Burke wanted to cover is the pros and the cons of actually working with a real estate investor. All right. So what are these real good things that you guys actually think that is working with a real estate investor? What do you guys actually think that working with a real estate investor would do to your to your career as an agent? I believe someone here was trying to work with someone who short sales. What do you guys think that is going to provide you?
I have no idea. Just basically, I don't know. I'm just wanting to help.
It's an increase in listings, I would imagine.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. I mean, there's many different type of really benefits in working with real estate investors. The number one is that you guys are going to learn as you go, and you guys can also learn how to invest. Usually, whenever you become a go-to person for a real estate investor, you are being shared all these tips. You are being shared all these strategies. You're being asked to give them what's the potential of the property, of the list of the listing that they have, or the house that they have potentially for them to buy. What's the potential on rent? All right. What's the potential of just an ROI? Okay. So you learning this game and understanding this language with them will just evolve you into also becoming a good real estate investor. And the beautiful thing is that there's many strategies to handle complex situations, such as probate, pre-foreclosure, back taxes, all these complex situations that you would not usually just find with the listing. And you will be able to have also more type of options. All right. Even if it is not like such a complex situations, you're just going to have more options. Usually real estate investors, they will start everything with a cash offer. That's the first option, right? And why is it good to start everything with a cash offer? Because cash offer, it gives you the hook to start conversations with homeowners that want to sell. They always are either curious or motivated about what their property can sell for cash. So that could be a really good hook to start a conversation about selling the property of the homeowner, diving deep into the motivation, why they need to sell the property, what is it the real reason why they actually need to sell the property, okay, and potentially offer them the option that they necessarily actually need. All right. So you qualify the homeowner, you understand their situation, you know when they need to sell, what's their true motivation. You also understand what type of repairs does it need. Is it need cosmetic, lots of work or something like that? And you understand what's their minimum amount of cash offer, or the rock bottom that they would accept as a cash offer for their property. If it is purchased as is, any condition, if it is purchased where you cover all the closing costs, everything, and the homeowner doesn't have to do anything but only sign the agreements and make sure that inspection is done, and then make sure that also the property is cleared during title. So you will give the homeowner the idea of that I can work with you, and you can provide me a better, easier, faster solution, decreasing that perception of how long it's going to take in the regular market, and things like that, by providing them the option of a cash offer. when you provide this option, you still will have to disclose, look, I purchase properties cash. I can give you and pay cash for your property, but I also am able to uh, list your property at top dollar because I am a licensed real estate agent on this brokerage. So we can get top dollar for your property, or you can also give you cash. Not every single property fits a cash offer, so we can go through several options that we can give you just to make sure that you are being fulfilled with the best value for what you need and things like that. So one single investor can also provide you and bring you multiple deals per year. There is going to be this difference between active investors and passive investors. Do you guys know the difference between active and passive real estate investing?
No, please share.
All right, sounds good. So active and passive real estate investing is going to be very what basically the name entails. When you're actively doing real estate investing, you are actively looking for properties every single month to either purchase for cash, to buy and hold, to flip, to wholesale, just to or to acquire as a whole. People are actively looking, marketing themselves, cold calling, sending direct mail, doing PPC, doing Facebook ads, whatever it is that is required to get motivated sellers on the phone. These people are actively doing this, and most of the time these are wholesalers. Most of the time these are flippers. All right. Most of the time these are people that are just acquiring more than 10 properties, not acquiring, but doing more than 10, 20 transactions a year. And a lot of this, they do actually more than 10 and 20 transactions of this per month, right? Depending on who you actually partner up with. And they would really appreciate that partnership because what I said, when they're actively marketing and finding real estate investors, motivated sellers, they're going to find those motivated sellers that don't fit a cash criteria, just don't fit a cash criteria. And they could propose creative deals, but they can also propose selling it as a listing. Because when they propose selling it as a listing, even though they're not a real estate agent, licensed real estate agent, they're going to say that we have the best agent in town, the best person in town to take it on the market and make sure that they get top dollar. Now, that best person in town, of course, can be you. And what can be arranged between you and the wholesaler is a marketing fee. So instead of a commission, because they're not licensed, you can arrange a marketing fee, just like if you, for example, are paying for direct mail or paying for Facebook ads to an agency or to a company, whatever that is. Whenever they are bringing a real estate, a homeowner that needs to sell their property and is a good potential listing, you can pay them as a marketing fee once the transaction is done. Okay. And those are actively people that are sifting through the options, sifting through these cash offers that they send. They send multiple offers to homeowners, and a lot of them are not going to work as a cash offer. I'm gonna share with you guys real quick here, for example, a pipeline as an example. So the example of this pipeline is someone that is actually a real estate investor and sends a lot of real estate agent deals to their agents. All right. So here, give me one sec. I forgot the name of the account. Let me just go here. Okay. I'm gonna look for that person. There you go. New Horizon. All right. So this is a pipeline of a real estate investor that works with a lot of real estate agents and has had multiple deals month to month. When the leads come in here, then ultimately, of course, his job is to move this to the right. The cards are here. These are motivated sellers. They're people looking to sell their property and give out their address, property address, and give out the reasons why they need to sell. These are coming either from Facebook ads or from the website. And as you can see here in this pipeline, when you go all the way to the right, of course, his goal is to get it as a closed deal and under contract as a closed deal. But there is a lot of these properties that don't fit a cash offer criteria and also don't fit a creative deal that are actually being sent to his realtor partners. Okay. These are all marketing fees. These are not commission referrals. Now, if the real estate investor is licensed, he can get a commission referral. But since they're not licensed, this is a marketing fee. All right. Once this is closed, it's a marketing fee that is being written off as well as tax purposes. Right. There's another here line it's called JV Wholesaler, which is a joint venture. That's another thing. But usually whenever he's working with realtors, he's sending this for potential listings because these are people that said, I want to sell my house. I want to sell it for top dollar, or I want to get the most amount. But I cannot accept a cash offer right now. And or maybe my house is just in a really good condition and it just doesn't make sense for a cash offer. And maybe he was not able to negotiate a creative deal. All right. We're going to go over a little bit more of creative deals. So one single investor can bring you multiple deals per year. So imagine having more than one investor, two investors, being that investor friendly agent, that hybrid agent. Imagine you also learning those techniques and helping your brokerage. All right. Another thing that you're going to achieve is seller relief because like I said, a lot of sellers, they're really looking to sell, but the best option might not be a listing for them, depending on the situation that they're in. The best option might be getting cash offer that it closes quick, 14 days to, it could close in 14 days, depending if there's no issues in the title, or they can do a creative deal. So you can achieve seller relief, but also wholesalers can achieve more seller relief by working with an agent, because maybe that homeowner fits a listing, not a cash offer or a creative deal, right? So there's a synergy right there. Now, the pros is that this is more of a mechanical transaction rather than an emotional transaction. You're going to see that this type of investors, this type of people that are ultimately also your clients, that bring you clients, these people are not going to make decisions based on whether something looks cute, whether something has has a space for the doghouse or whatever that is, but rather they're going to be more of a mathematical and mechanical transaction type of thing. So where you're going to actually learn that they require for the property to bring them a good rental cash flow. How much after being rented do they bring? They're going to give them that the property has a good cap rate, for example, that the property has a good ROI after being flipped. So all those things are more mechanical, and they're going to be most of the time more serious actually about buying properties. You're also going to find those wannabe investors that want to look into many different things. But once you find someone that is really, really good and has a lot of transaction and does actual transactions and are serious, then you're going to find a lot of mechanical transactions that go really fast. Okay. Commissions are usually higher too, because don't care about that 6%. Usually, if they're a real estate investor, they don't care about that 6%. All right. It's already included into the ROI, into the assignment or the spread after selling the property, or after assigning the property to another investor. Okay. Now, cons, working with a real estate investor. They are not your regular first time home buyer, so that means that they can actually stop working for you if you don't know what you're doing and you don't have systems in place. There are actually people that are more savvy into real estate than usual. You will find that real estate investors are very, 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 very knowledgeable about real estate terms, real estate terminology, everything. They're not your regular first-time home buyers, so it needs another type of treatment. All right. So a lot of people don't know how to handle that, but that's fine. That's something you learn. Another thing that you do is you need to do some math and know the language. So for people that hate math, or are not good in numbers, needs to be something that you need to learn. All right. And you need to learn about the language. You need to learn about the math that is being done per house or property. And you also need to meticulously choose the properties that that fits them, which means that you cannot just send them everything and anything that looks good and nice. It needs to be properties that are going to cash flow or are going to be a good flip for these people. Now, the first question that you guys are going to come up is like, how do we going to find the right investor to work with? And we work with a lot of real estate investors all over Texas, actually, all over Florida, all over the country. And we know that there's real estate investors with different type of personalities, different type of needs. All right. And we are going to potentially help you on looking for that. Now, of course, you have to do your due diligence, your network, and research. You got to look for experience, which is going to be the number of deals per year and systems in place that are invested heavily in marketing or doing joint ventures. And that is done by networking and actually putting yourself out there and saying that I want to work with real estate investors. Let's network, or go to network events for real estate investors to find those potential clients as well. Facebook groups are really huge. All right. Things like that as well. And just being active in the community of real estate investing, because these people are always looking for deals, and these people are always all having deals. Erica raised a hand. What's going on, Erica?
Yes, I have a question. Hopefully I didn't miss it because I stepped away for a second, but what is your company's role in this? Are you a middleman? Will we come to you to find opportunities? What's your company's role? And
My
what's the name
company,
of your company again?
actually helps investors, agents, and wholesalers to find motivated sellers. So opportunities with motivated sellers.
Okay,
All
so we'll
right.
come to you to find sellers and you guys get a fee. Or
Correct.
are you considered a wholesaler yourself?
I haven't wholesaled. I have done it in the past, but I haven't wholesaled in the past year. I've just invested in properties, because wholesaling is just going to be more of assigning a contract to someone else,
Right,
to another
right,
investor.
right.
So I invest in real estate, but I don't currently wholesale. Okay.
Okay, so
So
you're not
I'm
one
an
of
agency owner. I am that type of agency, digital marketer, business owner that helps real estate investors use Facebook and Google to find motivated sellers.
do you do the work for the investors or the real estate agents, or you already have, because you're not a wholesaler? That's why I'm confused. Because you're not a wholesaler, you're not going under an assignment contract with these sellers, these motivated sellers.
That's right. I'm not doing it. However, I do sometimes JV with wholesalers. So wholesalers find, for example, a property that I'm interested in acquiring, or just for a rental or something. They can bring it to me. I can analyze it, and I can maybe purchase it out of the wholesaler. Right. Now, I can also go do direct to seller marketing, which is talking with motivated sellers myself. But I honestly don't have the time to do that active marketing. I run the business, which is basically generating motivated seller leads for my clients. All right. And that is, they're actively doing it every single day, talking with sellers. They have systems, they have teams, they have virtual assistants, they have all this all those things to acquire properties or to wholesale properties through Facebook ads or Google PPC. All right.
Got it. So question, let's run through a real life scenario just to make sure I understand. I'm an investor and I come to you and said, I'm a new investor, I'm a real estate investor, and I want to, I'm trying to find motivated sellers. What is your role? Walk me through that, because I'm not quite understanding at this point.
Yeah, I will make sure that you get into our program, you start leveraging Facebook ads or Google advertising in your area, in your market, in your counties, maybe state, and we will activate a campaign that motivated sellers can actually see advertising and raise their hand or search on the internet that they need to sell their property. So we create a system that actually drags those motivated sellers from the internet, and we put them into, for example, like I showed you, I think from a client pipeline, we put them in the pipeline, and then he follows up with the leads, talks with the leads. It's on top of the leads, make sure that negotiates either a cash offer, creative deal, or whatever works for them. And then ultimately, it's going to be a transaction for them. It's going to be something that works. All right. So for example, here, this is something that happened. The lead came in, automated text message after the lead came in from Facebook. This lead came in actually from Facebook ads. We send an email to that homeowner. All right, homeowner, it has this property in Tennessee, and ultimately here we send a follow-up. All right, now they spoke over the phone. All right, and they had a conversation here. The conversation is recorded, and then he realized that the property is better off a listing. So what he did was he sent the information of the realtor to her, and she also he sent the information to the realtor about her. So this is one of the examples of how he actually utilized this marketing to get with realtors or get listings, fees, all right, marketing fees, and also close deals for his own business, right?
Got it. So in a nutshell, I will come to you and pay you to teach me how to find motivated sellers.
I can teach you, or I can do the dirty game, the dirty game for you, which would be finding those motivated sellers.
Right, but those of course are different fees. So what do you disclose your costs here in this presentation? How much?
Yeah, no problem. I mean, it ranges depending on what you do, 12 months or 3 or 12 weeks minimum. Well, depending on what the package it is, you'll have to budget, your brokerage or you yourself have to budget about minimum 2,500 to 3,500 a month, depending on what you want to do. So that's about it. It includes ad spend and includes the work that we do. It's about 2,200 to 3,600 that you will have to budget, depending on the package that you choose. Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just making sure as I'm following along, I understand.
That is right. So, shall we continue?
Yes, good question, Erica. Thank you for answering that.
Awesome. Great. Now, you want to look at what strategies they use for your real estate investors, whether they are actually doing only wholesaling or also doing creative deals, and also maybe leveraging other real estate agents, right? And whether their company is actually shaped on integrity, because a lot of start on the lowball cash offer, and what they want to do is they don't care about the homeowner. They just want to lowball everything instead of actually going through the whole marketing and sales process. And they They do care about the homeowner, bringing them the actual solution. That's what, for example, the client that I was just showing you does, right? He actually does care, and he actually acquires properties and sends properties to realtors because it's better off a listing. Now, imagine you being that licensed person that gets those motivated sellers when it's a win-win for you. If you do also the investing side. Now, you need to make sure that you focus on a specific niche. For example, there's a lot of single family investors, multifamily investors, or apartment building investors, and each ones have their own ways to market and to work. But these, there's different niches where you can definitely have to focus on. And how to get into real estate investing is one of the really things that we could cover. And the guest that is going to come in today is going to help you on knowing how to do that part. Now, there's a few tips here that we can give you. You will learn from an investor when you start working with them. So put yourself out there, look for real estate investors that can't close cash deals, maybe wholesale flips or so. But they have leads, they have seller leads, and will need your help monetizing one of their seller leads. So just put yourself out there, like literally in groups, be like, hey, I'm a real estate agent in Houston, Texas, and I love to work with real estate investors that cannot close their cash deals, or something like that. You can say, I'm a real estate investing friendly agent in a Facebook group and looking to partner up with good wholesalers and real estate investors that cannot close cash deals. And you can get that from a lot of people, because you're going to just tell them it's going to be a marketing fee that they get paid. So at the end of the day, they cannot close cash deals. Well, they send it to you because you're going to be able to list it. And if you're good at negotiation, of course, and sales as well, and finding the solution for them, at least you already are going to be that realtor go-to person for those sellers that they bring. All right, because these are usually off-market properties of people that need to sell. Okay. Now, a few tips also is that you got to learn the numbers. So, for example, cap rate, right? Cash flow, cash calculations, potential ROI for investors, for flippers, buy and hold investors. Those are things that you got to be able to do. So you got to educate yourself in for YouTube videos. Bigger Pockets, it's a big website that you can do. Also have podcasts, Bigger Pockets. Who here have heard of Bigger Pockets or follow Bigger Pockets?
I have.
Okay.
Yeah, I follow them.
Drop a one if you have. Awesome. You can also join Masterminds, all right, and learn from paid sources, from great coaches. For example, Sub 2 by Pace Morby. This is a coach that he also has agents under his team, and he is a big real estate investor based of Arizona, but he does the whole country as well. And he has a great mastermind called Sub 2, okay, where you can actually get a lot of investor clients or learn how to invest yourself too. Collective Genius is another one. There's many different out there. And the broker that is going to be coming in here soon is also going to give you a lot of different knowledge. Okay. Now, one of the things that I want you to understand is, this one was supposed to be being that motivated seller magnet. All right, so let's work on this, all of us together. How do we attract motivated sellers? Like actually people come to us. You have to be able to put yourself as that person that help homeowners to sell their property no matter the condition or situation that they're in, all right? So, or situation, whether that's as is condition property, and that you can help pay cash, all right? So that is one thing. You have to be able to also portray yourself as that agent, that person that can also help people um, sell their property, no matter the condition, situation that they're in, as is, and can pay cash. You're going to start attracting people that are ultimately going through rough situations and they need to sell their property, or their property is just like they don't want to do any work in the property. They don't want to go through all the hassles and things like that. And you're able to attract those people as a hook. Okay. Now you can attract people, of course, by putting regular free listings or posts, in Facebook groups that are local. So local Facebook groups, buy, rent and sell, whatever that is, buy, sell, trade, what I mean? Those local groups like buy, sell, and trade, local groups in Houston, all right? Things like that you can help people get their property sold in a condition as is, that you can also help pay cash, all right? You can put this in Facebook groups and things like that. Is going to be able to portray. You can also, whenever you meet people, be like, hey, I'm a real estate agent, and we're able to get top dollar for your property, but we can also help you sell your property for cash. You can get cash for your property. So you actually are going to attract more people that are in motivated situation by having those type of benefits, because now you're working with real estate investor. Okay. The way that we're currently doing it is we actually do either paid online advertising. So basically what we do is we actually do Facebook advertising, all right, in your city, county, or full state, all right? And we are going to run motivated seller advertising. These ads are basically ads that say, sell your property. So these are people that we're sending offers. Sell your property as is and get top dollar. All right. So here, one of the things that you can do, this is one of the offers that you can do. Of course, those ads, they are properties. Sorry, there are pictures that you put in Facebook or videos saying that you can buy properties as is, cash. This type of offer is great for people that have a pain. They don't want to do the whole hassle of repairing it or just preparing it for listing. They understand that game, but they don't feel like it, but they're also going through a situation, and they also would want to get top dollar. At the end of the day, top dollar is what you and the seller agree on. Okay. So what you and the seller agree on after having a conversation about the repairs that it needs, the condition of the property, their motivation, all of that is what you're going to agree on. And if you can list it and get great money for it, that's great. But maybe these people also may have properties that are in very bad condition, but they need to sell their property. That's when you actually send it to your real estate investor. All right. And they can do the whole purchase of that. And then you can also make money on the back end by either, again, a marketing fee or referral fee for them, or you can also list the property once they have the property fixed up. Okay, because they usually would do a flip on the property, or they would assign the property to another investor, and they can tell to that investor, hey, use this real estate agent for this transaction, and they can refer you on this type of things. All right, so you can do paid online advertising. All right, you can do Google PPC, which is basically advertising of so this is advertising in Google search bar, where we say where we actually put listings of your website or landing page, and we're going to make people search things like, for example, so homeowners will search things like this. I need to sell my house fast. All right. And usually whenever people say that fast, it's because something's going on. All right. And let's say do the exercise here. For example, here, I'm going to go in Google. I need to sell my house fast. All right. This is a keyword that people do. All right. So what we do is we actually put an ad. All these four that you see are ads. And you see these people are real estate investors or wholesalers, the buy guys. And these people could be your partners, and also they could be your brokerage as well. I mean, buying homes in your city, get cash offer in minutes. So in here, the buy guys, they have this ad, and people will click on this. And usually, and so for example, let's do this. People will click on this. They start now, and then they ask for the information, including the address of the property. Okay. And usually companies that are good, they usually have partnerships with other realtors or brokerages. All right. Now, you're gonna see all these listings, all these ads. It says ad right there. Okay, those are advertising that you do. And as you can see here, of course, there's different other organic methods from the other websites. It's called SEO, that also have those options for people to click on. But mostly it's going to be paid advertising, which is this one. People pay to be in front. People pay right there. Okay. And those are the ways that we actually also get motivated sellers. So for example, a motivated seller wants cash. Okay. They needs cash for their house. They're struggling. Okay. They would go like this: cash for my home. Right. They will put that. And again, you're going to be there. So that's going to be that motivated seller. But maybe that motivated seller has a pretty property, and it just doesn't make sense for a cash offer. Maybe they're not accepting a creative deal. And what they do, what this investor does at the end of the day is refer it to you, to an agent. Okay. That's how you can put yourself out there. Okay. So that we do paid online advertising to attract these individuals. Of course, you want to always, whenever you network with homeowners, if you are looking to help other homeowners that are, for example, struggling, you always want to portray that yourself as that person that can offer cash for their house or can get their property sold fast, no hassles, any condition. And that's a hook, because what you can do is you can tell them, look, Mr. Homeowner, I want to understand why you're looking to sell your property. And look, I'm able to make the sale of your property fast. We can pay cash. We can do any condition. But I'm also a real estate agent. I can get you top dollar for your property and get you some listing. But before that, I think it's best appropriate to understand whether that makes sense for you or not. So I like to understand some things here about what you're trying to do here. That's when you qualify the person. And of course, you're able to find the motivation and see if that makes sense better for a listing. That's where you're educating the people. Okay. So that's one thing. I'm going to bring in here my guest. And again, he's a broker, and he's gonna teach you some things. We didn't have more people in here, right? Other than you guys. It would have been really good material to share with everyone.
But one of the great things, we will have this recorded and we'll be loading it up for the rest of our agents who unfortunately weren't able to make it to this.
How many? There were like 40?
Yeah, we have like 50 agents and affiliates, so they'll definitely get to all of this.
Okay. What's the password of this?
MGD, capital MGD.
MGD. Okay, sounds good. So I'm telling him right now to join, and the password is NGD. All right. So how do you guys liking the idea of working with investors or being an investor yourself so far?
This is great information. Definitely something looking forward to getting into it more actively.
Yeah, absolutely. Uh, how long you guys been in the business as a realtor?
I've been in and out of the business for 13 years. Once before I started in Atlanta, Georgia, and then I came to Houston, Texas, and started doing work here. I don't know, did you touch on short sales, or was that part of the, you were saying cash offers only?
Yeah. So actually, we
Okay.
have John here. We got John here. I know a lot of the agents had to go and couldn't assist, but luckily we're gonna have the recording. You said that the recording will be sent to us, right?
Yes, it'll
As
be
well.
sent to you as well as to our agents.
All right, sounds great. Now we have John here. I would love to get him on a spotlight for everyone. Okay. We got John Ramsden. He's actually a broker, and he is actually coaching real estate agents and how to make sure to monetize motivated sellers and get motivated sellers to work with you, for you, and how to utilize all this REI side. Okay. John, how are you, man?
Doing pretty good. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah. So I already went them through like the foundation of things. I sent you the questions and I covered all of that. But we also told them that we could go through examples of deals that you've done, and you can also introduce what you've been able to do for real estate agents and help them do that they would never imagine that it was possible or anything at all. So I love for you to introduce yourself and just take it here, man.
Sounds good. Well, thanks for having me. I do appreciate it. I was just going to pull up those questions, but basically what I've been doing pretty much my entire career. My first couple of years, I did the regular realtor stuff, cold calling, networking, open houses, all of that. And there was a time where my dad got really sick with cancer, and I couldn't do that anymore. And like anybody else, you start searching the internet and looking for things. And I came across working with motivated sellers, and I turned it on and I instantly had amazing results. So you don't have to, the thing with working with motivated sellers is you have to know what you're doing. You have to know how to work as an investor. But a lot of these people just want options. They want solutions to their problem, whatever it is that they're going through. And it's our job, being licensed, we can actually operate. I call myself a professional real estate consultant. I don't call myself a realtor. I am a realtor, I am licensed, but it's just one of the tools in my tool belt that I use to help sellers solve a problem. And when I meet with a motivated seller, I'm very much working for them. I'm on their side of the table, and I want to understand what's going on and what solutions are best for them. And many of those solutions I'm going to present are on the investor side of the table. But I also am going to bring them the retail option, a retail buyer, because if they have the luxury of time, it will yield them the most amount of money. And right now at today's market, we are doing a tremendous amount of fix and lists. So we'll bring in, do some minor repairs, not major rehabs, but we're doing rehabs and then getting market. It allows us a competitive advantage to stand out from other realtors. But when I started getting in this game, I would offer them a cash option. And I partner up with other investors. You don't have to have your own money to implement this. It's great to partner up with the actual cash buyers and flippers, because we can structure the deal in a way where we're going to make money up front in the form of an assignment fee. And then we have an agreement in place where we can list it on the back end when the renovation's done to get another paycheck. Now, once you get good and you have a good network of partners, I call them strategic partners, what we teach is also structuring in a profit share, where we're actually involved in the renovation. We're helping them get this property ready for what today's retail buyers are looking for. And we can carve ourselves out a nice 10 to 12, maybe even 15% of the profit share and list it and get an assignment fee up front to create multiple streams of income in our business, all from one house. So it allows us to make more money, add more revenue without having to sell more houses. I learned early on, I never wanted to be that guy. And I'm with Keller Williams, where you have to have this big team of people and managing all these agents to sell 400 homes when your profit margins get really low. My profit margins were really high. I run a lean, mean team, and we're able to provide more value to sellers and carve out a niche. Because look, the reality is that this niche in the marketplace, most realtors are not targeting them at all. And the reason they don't is because a lot of them aren't ready to meet with a realtor. If you just go and say, hey, I can list it, well, like, they don't care. I mean, just the reality of it. But if you take the time to walk them through what a cash offer is, what it looks like, the pros and cons of it, what a terms deal looks like, the pros and cons of the different terms options that they have, as well as the option to list as is or fix and list. Well, now you're providing more value and you're actually giving them real data to look at. And when you do that, the data does the selling for you, and you are simply become the implementer of whichever strategy that they pick. And it allows us to sit at the same side of the table as the seller, which is a great place to be. So I know I kind of went through a lot to start, but does anybody have any questions on any of that?
Not I, it was very thorough. Thank you. Anyone else have any questions?
No, it makes sense.
I can give you some, I know you asked for some deal examples, so let me share my screen here and I could just give you a couple quick ones here. Let's see, share screen. I'm not allowed to share screen right now, but if
I'll make you host one moment.
access, I'm happy to.
All right, you've been made host.
Just pull this up here and let me get it in a little more of a easy to view area here. All right, so here's an example of a 3-time payday, just to give you this guy. This was a hoarder house. He didn't want to list, of course. We presented him the multiple options, multiple ways to sell. So this one actually, the numbers I was looking at weren't quite what I was comfortable with paying cash, but when you have a good group of cash buyers in your back pocket, I literally was like, let me talk to my partners. Let me see if I can make that work for you. I literally called a couple of them and said, hey, this is the deal I'm working at. This is the area. This is the size. Here's the opportunity. Because I know my numbers. I know the area. And right over the phone, without seeing the property, people were giving me numbers on what they'd be willing to pay for it. So I was able to lock this up, assign it out to one of my partners, structured it where I did get a profit share, and then I'm going to be the listing agent when the renovation's done. And I was involved in the project. I helped them, don't do this, don't, do this, let's not spend money here, let's spend it here, because that's what's going to sell. And that value, it's invaluable to a contractor who's not communicating or not talking to retail buyers. They don't, they're mostly not going after that market. So it allows us to provide value and get paid handsomely for it. So I don't have any money into the deal, my own money, but I was still able to make a significant profit on it by structuring the deal the right way. And you have to have your business set up the right way with an LLC to do these deals, and you have to have all your disclosures in place, disclosing that you are a licensed real estate professional, and make sure that everything's done. So speak with your broker about the terminology you need to do for that. But these are the ways that I like to structure deals. It's my preferred way. Yes, I do flip my own houses. With COVID, I really scaled back on that because a lot of my timelines were getting screwed up. So I primarily do these types of deals. These are my favorite ones to do. And you can target, all kinds of different people. Like this one was an expired listing that showed up on our vacant home list, and it was also expired. So I don't personally necessarily go after expireds or FSBOs, but a lot of times they will reach out to me when what they're doing isn't working and they are frustrated and they're ready to start getting results quickly. I'm looking though for those people that are ready to do something, that are ready to make a decision quickly, and I'm there to provide them value. So this guy, he just wanted to get his mortgage paid off. We agreed to a cash offer, again, structured a 3 times payday, where we did some renovation. This home was really dated, needed work. It's probably why it didn't sell in the market. Their former listing agents just had it way overpriced, and they were across the country now. They didn't want to deal with it. They didn't care. They're just like, I just want to get rid of it. We did offer them the option to list it again at a different price, but for some people, as long as their financial burden now, because this property became a burden, is gone, they're willing to give it up for a discount so we can build in a profit share and everybody can put in the hard work to renovate this home to get it to where it needs to be for today's buyers. Because look, today's buyers are looking for more move-in ready properties. They're willing to pay more for those right now. So especially with interest rates low, they want to finance as much as they can. They don't want to have to bring cash and do a lot of work. Will they? Sure. But ultimately, they rather probably just buy something that's move-in ready for the majority of them. If I just listed it, I would have made a lot less money, right? Instead of the 3 times payday, which is $48K versus, just the listing commission of $10K plus. Now, we're going after a lot of frustrated landlords right now. This was one that we did a hybrid deal on. They had 4 properties. These 2 we ended up listing because we went to the tenants and negotiated cash for keys for the seller. 2 of them said yes, 2 of them said no. So those 2 we had to package together and sold to a investor who has over 100-something doors. So they can take on 2 non-performing tenants. They're fine dealing, buying a property at a discount, and then deal with the headaches themselves because they have the infrastructure in place and the cash flow coming in that they can absorb that, because they know in the long term this is going to be a profitable deal. And the other 2 that we were able to get the tenant out, we just simply cleaned it up, put it on the retail market, and she got maximum dollars for. So those are some great ways to structure deals that you can take more listings as well as do some off the market deals. And then a lot of these people, this is another example of a vacant homeowner who thought they wanted a cash offer. I don't want to list it, I want to pay the commission. No problem. I walked them through what a cash offer would look like. I walked them through what a terms deal would look like. They really just wanted to cash out. They used to live here. It was in great shape. They didn't want to live, they didn't want to deal with the tenants anymore, doing anything. They didn't have a bad experience with their tenants, but they were moving out, and they did move out, and they were just ready to cash out. So I walked them through the cash offer and they were just almost offended. And I'm like, look, based on what this property was generating for rent, as an investor, this is where our numbers need to be, as we do need to make a profit. However, your property is ready to go. I could go ahead and get this listed and sold really fast. We have retail buyers in the area ready to go. And that's what we did. We listed it, did some coming soon marketing, did a full blast weekend of open houses the first weekend, and had it sold right there on the open house. So it was an opportunity to still make some good income, but 3 out of 4 of these people in today's market, in a normal market, it's about 2 out of 3 with our data, but 3 out of 4 right now, they are going to pick some version of a listing. We do some exclusive listings off the market. We'll do regular as is, just throw it up on the market, or we're doing a lot of fix and lists. With a fix and list, you just have to partner up with a contractor. There's a lot of different ways to structure it, but they are a very effective way to secure listings that you otherwise might have missed out on. So I see a couple people raising their hands. So why don't I stop sharing for a minute and get to some questions?
Hi, question. Explain the profit share portion of the 3 times payday. So you get a percentage of the profit the seller makes from selling the home?
Exactly. So if I'm going to bring someone a deal, they have to agree to, and this might be a little different when you're first starting out, but with me and the experience and the relationships that I have, I'll bring a deal, and these are the terms I'm going to work with. So if it's a flip property, right? And I'm bringing it to flippers, my expectations, they know that it costs us money to get in front of these people because it costs money marketing. We have a team, we have to pay bills. We are going to make some money up front. They know that. They're already buying deals from wholesalers now. So the next stage of that is that if someone's going to make 100 grand, I don't feel like it's unreasonable for me to go ahead and ask for a piece of that because I'm bringing them the deal. The contract's already done. We're going to go ahead and hand deliver this deal for you. I already gave you the comps. I gave you everything you need. I already did all your work for you. And I'm going to be a resource during this phase where I can help you make sure that you're using your budget by doing what's necessary to get top dollar for the property. I feel that I bring more than enough value to ask for a profit share in that. Now, when I first started, I didn't. But as I started getting more deals and doing more deals with the same people, that was just the way I started structuring it. It was kind of a take it or leave it thing. And then people were like, no problem. So as I started getting deals, I ended up, even though I had lists of hundreds of guys that did multiple flips a year, I ended up only selling to the same 5 or 6 people, all of my deals because we just built that relationship and we had many home runs in a row. So it's just it's all about the relationships you build and the value you bring.
Okay, I have a question about that. How did you?
Yeah.
Where did you find these people? I guess maybe I missed that. How did you do?
So
was it the for sale by owner list or expired list? Like, how do you find these investors? I guess I need a dumbed down version of that.
So, well, are you asking how we find motivated sellers or how we're finding investors?
Investors.
You mentioned for sale by owner. Okay, so investors, there's lots of different ways you could do it. You can, we cover all this in our program, but to give you the quick version, you can buy a list. You can go ahead on different softwares that are out there. Like PropStream, for example, and you can go ahead and sort out all the cash buyers and then organize them based on how many deals they have done. And you sort them by, corporate ownership, LLC ownership, because, flippers are buying properties in their LLC. If someone just happens to buy their primary residence in cash, we don't necessarily want that person. They're going to probably buy it in their personal name. So that's a way to find cash buyers and networking. Going to the RIA meetings, going to the investor networking groups, meeting people, understanding what they're looking for in the marketplace. Some of it's just the old fashioned getting out there and meeting people. But there's ways to do it digitally. You can also run ads to them, but there's lots of softwares that'll give us great data to go ahead and initially pull that list. And you could simply call them, communicate with them, email them, text them, whatever you want to do to start getting in front of them. But the combination of the three is how I started building my list.
Okay, how much is a list that you would say is reasonable to pay for as a beginning
person? In an area, you could probably buy a list for one county for a few $100s. However, what I would do is going a software, like a PropStream.
You said PropStream. Okay.
PropStream, yeah. There's lots of softwares out there, but you can go ahead and download the cash list, skip trace it, and you're off and running. But if you're just starting out, I highly recommend going to the RIA meetings, go on meetup.com, go on Facebook groups, find out the local meetings for your area and start reaching out to people and communicating. Because ultimately, you're going to have to reach out and communicate with them anyways. And that's a very cost-effective way to do it. And you'll also learn as you start going around and having conversations with these people. So
thank you. That was wonderful.
If you have somebody who is a long-term hold buyer, you don't want to send that guy the single family fix and flip, right? So you have to know what each investor is buying and why they're buying it, what their goals are, so that we can categorize them. So we know when deals come across our plate, we know exactly what they're looking for, so we can help them grow, and we get paid along the way. I see some other hands raised. Anybody else have another question?
I think that's all of them. She just put it down. That was good. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. And we have tons of examples of deals, but I think that gives you at least a good area to go. Some of the things that I really made literally millions of dollars on is also working with private money. And when you start networking, getting out there, and you're bringing deals to people, people will start approaching you to partner with deals. So you can do the 3 times payday, which I do a lot of those. And every now and then I will pick and choose one that I'm going to flip myself, because I'm okay waiting a longer period of time for a bigger reward when the property's finally renovated. And if someone wants to fund the deal 100%, I'll split the profits with them. I found the deal, I did all that, and then I'm still going to list it and get my money there too. But that's, we have a lot of examples of 6-figure deals on one house. For people in our program, we'll fund deals with them, or fund deals with them to hotel. That's another great thing as a realtor. Now, a lot of people, when I explain it to them, they're like, I can never do that. I don't have the money. You don't need the money. If you have a deal, and what a hotel is, not a hotel, a hotel is there's a lot of properties I'll buy. I'm not going to fix them up. I'm going to clean them out with a cleaning crew, and I'm going to throw them right back on the MLS. And I'm okay waiting a little bit to list it, get offers, and sell it. But that's a way to make some big profits, because we're satisfying a motivated seller's needs of closing quick, getting the cash, and we're getting rewarded by solving their problem. And then I can wait. We have private money funding them, or, as you start doing a lot of these deals, you're going to want to put your own money to work. And we self-fund a lot of stuff, and we self-fund a lot of the stuff for the people in my program, as well as establish business lines of credit, which everybody should be starting to set up your LLCs and starting to establish business lines of credit, business credit cards, because your LLC is just as important as your personal finances when it comes to becoming a seasoned, established player in the investor side. But it's always important not to get overwhelmed and to start where you're at, because there was a time where I had no idea what I was doing. And I was just going out, meeting with motivated sellers, and I took a ton of listings. My first month implementing inbound motivated sellers, I took 11 listings. And I was a newer agent. It was my second, wrapping up my second year in business. I would average maybe a listing a month, and that was good for a new agent. So I was told. And then I started this strategy, took 11 my first month. And then I had my first person that refused to list. I couldn't talk him into listing. And I put it under contract. It was a multifamily 3-unit, and I was going to keep it. And I did an inspection. My inspector was like, oh, it's got some foundation. It's got this, it's got that. And he started to scare me. I wish I kept it, but he started to scare me. I started making calls and found a guy that owned 400 doors in the area, big time investor. And he shot over, I showed it to one, and he was like, what do you want for it? And I'm like, well, I'm still negotiating with the seller, we started negotiating, and then he gave me a number that was way more than I would have listed it for. It blew me away. He's like, yeah, my crew can come in and fix this up in a week. No big deal. And this will cash flow, when I'm done with getting it approved with Section 8, it'll cash flow like, this, is, I think he said like, over $3,000. So he gave me an offer for 195 grand. I had it under contract for 110, and I got to keep the spread in the middle. So I was like, well, if I keep it as a rental, it's going to take me a long time to make 85 grand. So I might as well, let me just do this deal. We closed in 2 weeks. It was the easiest money I ever made. And I was like, how is this legal? But it is, as long as you structure the contracts the right way, you have your right entities in place. And I'm doing it. I was doing it. I started in one of the hardest states to do these deals, guys. So there's no excuses no matter where you live. I started this in New Jersey, which is an attorney state. And you just have to have the right team in place to guide you through things when it comes to the right title companies, the right escrow officers, if you are in an attorney state, the right lawyer, and to make sure that you're structuring these deals. But, this is the opportunity to go take a ton of listings and make the investor do way more. A good investor makes more than a good realtor. It's just like, I know them all. And there's guys out there, investors, who are making 200, 300, 400 grand a month. And it's crazy, but it's happening. And for me, I always wanted a lean and mean team, do deals, still live my life. It allowed me freedom. I didn't have to be around every weekend to do stuff. I like to travel. It allowed me that freedom of not feeling like I had to work 7 days a week anymore, which is what I was looking for. And then once you start establishing yourself as this person, the rest of your business, you can start to outsource. Like I haven't shown a house to a buyer and I don't know, unless it's a personal referral I do here or there, but it's been a long time, well over 5-6 years. So for me, I don't want to deal with it, right? So, but I still want to make money on that lead. So, I will send it out to either a showing assistant or a buyer's agent and do a commission split. So, but ultimately your highest paying dollars in real estate is getting in front of sellers, having good conversations and trying to find ways to add value to their lives. If you can do that, you'll be the highest paid person in real estate.
Nice.
Awesome, man. I know that you currently have a program that you can take in. You take real estate agents to help them realize and help them do this on a daily basis, weekly basis, right? How can people actually reach out to you? How can people actually find you, or how is that done in your end?
Yeah, and I'll just give a quick background of it. I've been asked to do that for like a long, long time. Like some of the guys that do marketing for Tony Robbins, I became friends with, and they wanted to like put this whole system together. And at the time, I was too busy doing deals, right? And I just never had the time to record all this training and be able to mentor people. And I was like, in the back of my head, I'm in several masterminds. That's how I learned all this stuff. But one of the masterminds, I had some realtors that I worked with for, I guess, 5-6 years now, and implemented in their markets what I did, and they all exploded, all of them. So we had 100% success rate. So when COVID happened, I also just had a baby. So I didn't know what COVID was. I'm like, I'm not leaving the house anymore. So it gave me the opportunity to go ahead and really create for someone with no experience, how to get them to literally $100,000 a month business owner. And we have benchmarks in our program, 25K a month, 50K a month, and so on, and ultimately build them up to some real income. And it's been working out really well. Now we're at 34 people doing deals and certificates, and we process with onboarding. We're about to get to 40. So it's a couple people are onboarding now. So it's been really cool. We take people that want to implement this strategy, and we literally hold their hand when it comes to leads, how to structure deals and how to sell the deals and disposition, but also mindset training, how to do things the right way, making sure that you have all the right contracts, forms in place. But the foundation of everything is marketing and finding the right lead sources. And there's different ways to find leads regardless of what budget you're on. But it all comes down to ultimately getting in front of the right people. So anybody, I can post in my email in the chat, and I can send you over a ton of free training. We're also on Facebook at Agent Investors is the name of our program. And I will just include my email in here.
Yes, if you could, as well as that group you just mentioned, Agent Investors.
And if you want to just search on Facebook for Agent Investors, we have, and I will personally go ahead and email everybody out a bunch of our training that's not public. So you can, take a look and get some good foundation built. And if you ever want to have a conversation of exactly what our program looks like or apply, you're more than welcome to. We'll send you a time to get on our calendar. We'll typically start with an intro call, get a feel for where you want to go, what you want to do, and the areas you want to target. And me and my team actually will go back and do all the research for you. And then we'll come back together on a Zoom call where we'll walk through what opportunities you have there. And if we feel like it's a good fit for something for you to implement in your business, we don't just like take people to take people, because we create a real partnership, a strategic alignment with you where, my calendar's booked with Zoom calls all day, analyzing deals, doing deals, pulling funding for people. Like we're going to work and doing a lot of deals. We closed, I think, 19 deals last week as a group. So, regardless of the market conditions, you can make it happen. It's just a matter of going after the right people who need your help. And this is the people that are successful in this in general. And this is where we really differ from investors. is that I mentioned Tony Robbins once before, but I'm a big Tony Robbins guy, and you have to come from a place of contribution every time you're meeting with the seller. Now, some of the biggest problems we have, especially with the younger folks, nothing against them, but they'll come in and do a deal and make 40 grand real quick. And they're like, oh my God, it would have taken me 6 listings to do that. And then they'll make 60 grand real quick. And then they start getting these like wide eyes where they're just going after the home run deals. I'm like, no, you're not going to do any deals if you keep up that mentality. We have to come from a place of contribution, and you have to be there to service the seller first and foremost. Whichever option they pick, we're going to get paid. Yes, some pay more than others, but you have to be in a mindset that you don't care. You have to go in with an open mind and heart that you're there to contribute to better their lives. And if you do that, you'll be very successful working this method, because we're dealing with all kinds of unique situations, from divorce to probate to, frustrated landlords to perfectly ready to go houses that people are just trying to avoid working with a realtor until they realize that they're going to sell their house for a discount if they go with an iBuyer or cash and things like that. And if you're in an iBuyer market, we have ways to compete with them, and we have ways to work with them. There's a lot of houses that I do just go right to iBuyers and they pay me 3%, which I'm fine with. So there's a lot of different ways to structure deals. You have to be in the driver's seat of being in front of the motivated sellers, and then we figure out the rest later. So, but it's a great way to do business. I highly recommend it. And you're talking to the right guy who can generate an unlimited amount of leads for you. So it's just a matter of